Hello everybody, this is my review of one of my favorite sets, the Nintendo Entertainment System, aka the NES. Its set number is 71374. It's got a ton of pieces tallying up all the way to 2,646. This set was $230, but sadly it fell victim to the 2022 LEGO price increases, making it now $270. And I'll be honest, this set doesn't feel like it's worth its new price tag, but on the other hand, it's one of my top 10 sets of all time, so I'm kind of seated in the middle. If you aren't familiar with what exactly all of this is, the Nintendo Entertainment System, aka the NES, which was released in 1986, being Nintendo's first home console, and the starting point for many landmark franchises headlined by Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid, which paved the way for it to sell 62 million units and made it the best-selling console ever at the time. But now let's get into the bricks, starting with the console. What I noticed right away when I first saw the set was this rubber element I've never seen before to represent the controller's cord, which brings us to the gamepad, which utilizes a wide array of clever building techniques and prints to recreate the controller perfectly. But the inclusion of just one controller is a bit disappointing considering the NES always came with two. And of course, a console is useless without its games, and what better game to include than Super Mario Bros., which is strikingly accurate to the original cartridge, all the way down to the visibility of the motherboard down here at the bottom. Unfortunately, both of these are stickers, but they just look so good, so I can't complain too much, especially when it's one half of an amazing feature, which brings us to the NES. After opening the cartridge door, slide in your game just like this, push down, and bam, it locks in just like the original. The designers really went out of their way here, so props to them. The NES here is quite a bit smaller than the original, but I think that's perfectly fine and definitely big enough, especially considering how that keeps the price down. It's absolutely covered in fine details, with my favorite being the brick-built air vents on the right so its components stay nice and cool. Down to the front we have the console's names printed on the door along with prints for the power buttons. Shifting our view to the right is where we jack in our controllers. Turning to the other side, we're greeted to an audio port and a video port, which is a beautiful touch. But that's not all on this side. There's actually a secret compartment here which contains a mini-scale representation of the iconic World 1-2 shortcut with Mario right here. And for a second, when I was first building it, I was very confused, but then it all came together for me. All I can say is I really love when LEGO goes the extra mile for something that 99% of the time won't even be visible. Then on the backside, we have the power input for the console and some other plugins. Moving on to the TV, it comes with a stand here, which does not connect to the TV by its studs. It actually just slides into place, similar to what they do with other display sets. The stand is certainly a bit thin, but it's much sturdier than it looks and has no problem holding up the TV, plus a few extra pounds of force. Now for the TV, just below the screen is this TV's branding, Low Tech, which is fitting considering it's made out of Lego blocks. Alongside that are the speakers, which were not the most fun thing to build in the world, but they do look good. Now just to the right of the screen is the TV's control panel, which has a print for every single knob and button, highlighted by the channel changer. Just listen to this. It's so cool to have that authentic clicking noise here in this set. With all of that being said, the screen is definitely where the magic happens. Turning this crank on the right side of the screen gets Mario to go through a significant portion of the first level in Super Mario Bros., and the attention to detail with all of the enemies is second to none. This is honestly what I believe to be my favorite LEGO function of all time, and it blew me away when I first saw it. And surprisingly, as long as it took, I'd say it was very enjoyable to build this portion. It was just like creating your very own Mario level. If you're curious on how all of this works, the screen is built onto some tank tread pieces, which rotate as the crank does. On the backside, we have the TV's power supply alongside a sticker detailing the TV's model and serial number, and some more important information, plus the TV's power inputs and display ports. Up at the top, there is a clip if you wish for your antenna to not be seen. Now, one last thing before I wrap up this video, this set does support the electronic Mario figure. If you put him on top of the set, he will make sound effects matching the screen using its IR reader. And sadly, I can't show off that functionality, but you can find plenty of videos online of people who have it and do show it to you. That wraps up my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.